Dr. Leal, thank you for joining me in the LSI studio today.
Thanks, Nick. It's great to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the work you're doing at Kneevoice.
Basically, we've been working on a diagnostic device that analyzes the sound of the knee to obtain a data that gives us a very precise diagnosis of cartilage damage, something that we didn't have before, something that is pretty revolutionary. It's the leading edge of diagnostic devices. It's an easy, non-invasive machine that you can actually have like a little sexy iPad at the doctor's office. That's actually one of the only things, if not the only one, that we have as orthopedic surgeons in our offices, because basically we have our hands and we order exams and then we make decisions. Now we do have something that is a real experience for patients that creates a new data that is valuable to determine treatments, follow-up, and monitor what we're doing.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the technology and how it works?
Basically, we've been working on this. You don't imagine how much for almost myself, about 3 decades. I mean, this company is like now 7, 8 years old. And in all those years, I've tried to use microphones. I've tried to use sensors. I've tried to use even the iPad or your iPhone, putting the iPhone on the microphone and getting the images that you get with sound and trying to make it a number. So the technology has evolved in this past 5 years to a very sophisticated medical engineering and sound engineering sensor that you place on the kneecap with a gyroscope on the lateral side of your knee. And then after 8 repetitions from 0 to 90 degrees, you get the information that you want. So this is basically, in very simple words, a high-tech type of microphone that gives me a number, a score from 0 to 100, being 0 horrible and 100 perfect. And you can divide that in 4, like low, mild, moderate, or severe damage. Comes with a color. The patient can listen to the knee, can see actually the graph. So it's not only a good experience for the patient, a great aid for the doctor, but also a very good technology.
What is the current standard of care then for sort of monitoring and understanding knee health right now? You mentioned that there's nothing in the clinician's office today.
Right.
They have to send out for an exam. So what does that look like? How is a patient managed?
Well, the world is divided in two, those who have knee pain and those who will. So actually, you go to the doctor only if you have pain, actually, right? Most of the people go to the general doctor or the ortho surgeon general and say, if you want to go to the knee guy, you have to have an MRI, you have to have an X-ray, and then they will go there. The standard of care right now, if you have anterior knee pain, which is our main problem, is that 90% of the people don't require surgery. So some of them end up in unnecessary surgeries. Some of them definitely require surgery, 10 to 15%. And that 85, 90% are treated with physical therapy, load control, medications, or injections. And that standard of care ends there. You cannot have anything to follow up and see if what you did is actually something good, because you have to rely on pain. And pain is an emotion. It's like love. You cannot measure it. And then you cannot have a follow-up having an MRI every 3 months. It's too expensive and it's not a great experience. So in the beginning, the Kneevoice will allow people to have a marker before you need an MRI or an X-ray to go to the knee doctor. That's one thing that the insurance companies love. The other thing is that once you start a treatment, which usually is not surgical, not even at the beginning, then you can tell the patient, you know what, we'll see how your cartilage is doing in the next follow-ups. And every time the patient comes, you can have a test. It takes 7 minutes. It's in the office. It's like taking a blood pressure. It's really easy. It's not expensive. And it really adds a lot to the whole pathway of the therapeutic process.
So then is this a new tool in the toolbox, so to say, or does it take something out? Does it completely replace the need for imaging, or are you using them as complementing technologies?
That's a good question because it's a totally new technology. Nobody knows about it. Everybody knows how to put your hand on the knee and test and say, hey, this doesn't sound good, or sounds really bad, or okay, you're fine. But this is a new technology. We're evolving into something totally different from images, which are shadows from x-rays or magnetic resonance or bone scanning, invasive procedures. This is totally new. We're working on a new diagnosis with a new technology of sound engineering. So it's very hard to get into the medical community. But as soon as you bring in this to the specialists, the knee guys, the key opinion leaders of knee surgery in this country and all over the world, they say, hey, I need this. I would love to tell my patient, you know what, I think that you're not that great, but I need a number for that. So if you have this or that, then we go for an injection. Maybe we go just for medication. Maybe you're going to need surgery before. Maybe you're not going to need surgery at all. Because, if you take x-rays or MRIs or CT scans, you may have a terrible dislocation of your patella, or you may have a dysplasia, or just the shape of your bones are not right. But those are your bones. It's like having a big nose or a small ear or a blonde hair. It's not a disease. It's an anatomical condition. And in many ways, many doctors all over the world treat that as if it was a disease. And the frustrating thing is that when you take a new exam after years, months, it doesn't change that much. So it's frustrating. The patient comes to you and says, look, doc, my CT scan is exactly the same as you had before surgery. You have to say, well, it doesn't change much. So what did you do? And then you have the Kneevoice say, this is what I did. The cartilage looks better.
So you mentioned then that the clinicians you're speaking with currently, the knee doctors, they are interested in this technology when you're introducing them to it. Are you guys currently in the market?
We're starting to get in the market because we're in the final phase of approving. We could have had two pathways. I mean, we could go to an infomercial and sell this like with no science. We took it the hard way. We wanted to go through the FDA, which at the moment is like 3,400 pages just in hardware. But that's what we want to have. I mean, we want a serious medical device getting involved with the key opinion leaders. So we're getting in the market, but we're in the process of doing an FDA pre-submission that is already done. They asked us for more patients in the States. We've already done 120 patients, and guess what? We are 30% more accurate than MRI. If you compare MRI, Kneevoice, and the findings in surgery, 30% in mild, moderate, or severe osteoarthritis, even 15% in severe. So if you want to go to the market, you need a final device. We already have the final device. We already have it ready to scale. We already have a beautiful IP, patents from the UK to China, all South America, Europe, and the US. We were in the regulatory process, and now we have also CPT codes that can actually work. So if it already has not the specific CPT codes, but we have more than 10 CPT codes that can be used for this device, well, doctors are just waiting for that. Because actually our business model is pretty straightforward. I mean, I'll give the doctor the device at no cost. They can charge with the current CPTs from $35 to $100, and they will pay us about $15 per test. So they make money from day zero. They help the patient. The patient is happy. We're happy. And they have to do at least 25 a month. So with this business model, we're able to interest the industry, interest the insurance companies, interest the people who work in medical devices, pharmaceutical companies that work with hyaluronic acid, orthobiologics. They want to know what's going on with my injection. Does it work? So doctors, if you use my injection, take this device for free, and we'll pay for the basics, and then you just charge for whatever you need. So it's a very nice model that we have changed and then go to market. So we're like this. We just need the final push, a Series A that we're requiring right now to complete FDA, start mass production, and give this to the doctors that are waiting for it.
Is that what brings you then to LSI this year? You're looking to find investors and maybe other strategic partners that can help you guys get over that finish line?
Definitely, absolutely. I mean, there's three things that we require because this is just the beginning. I mean, this is the knee, but we're going for the jaw. We're going for other joints. We can listen actually to every joint. So we're going for a wearable. So those three things are basically all the regulatory processes, the production of the device, the go-to-market strategy, and obviously, like every startup, we need money. We need money to get things together and go further with the production, so we can go finally to sell the product when it's working and when the doctors have it. So we pretend to have a lot of these devices moving around, and I'm absolutely sure, we are absolutely sure this will become a gold standard in medical care for knee surgery.
You know, Dr. Leal, I want to wish you the best of luck and to use a maybe poor metaphor running this race. I believe that you guys are just about there, and I hope that you guys are able to get that second win to cross the finish line here. Thank you so much for stopping by the studio and telling me about your story and the work you're doing at Kneevoice.
Thank you, thank you. We can test your knee anytime.
I probably need it.